Go ahead.
I think I told you about Colonel Elliott when he was dying.
I don't think so. I don't remember Colonel Elliott
No.
at all.
I don't think so.
Well, you know where the Smiths live.
Yeah.
The Elliott's lived there. Old Mrs. Elliott and the Colonel. And the Colonel was like, he took care of everything in the association, even before they had officers.
Same as ever?
He got bed fast. And when I was Howard, she said, "Can I ask you a favor, please?" She said, "If I get the game Monopoly out, could your kids come up and play?" You know this story or not? So he was in bed, and Mom and Carolyn and Jed went over and was right by his bed, and they played Monopoly. And he smiled. I could even cry when I tell you the story because it's true. And his wife, she was in seventh heaven. She said that was his dying wish. He couldn't see any kids. And then the other thing was where his thing was that boy is in bed. The hedges in front of the Smiths are, they were high.
Yeah.
She said he can't see the lake. So I got my cutter and I cut every one of those things right down to here. You know, and I went to see it, and guess what? He smiled at me. And it doesn't get any better than that. When he died, I didn't know this. So the Colonel said he wants you to have his train set. It sounds very nice. But I went over, what I didn't realize is that he made all those cars. He had a big platform, bigger than this,
Yeah.
with the trains going around and little spots there for the village. It was incredible. The box was like this big, with all the trains in it. And I don't know what to do with them. They were all cardboard and all that. Some things worked, some things didn't work. But to me, it was so damn important. I went down, I found out in Wilkes-Barre, there was a guy who did the trains and all that. I said, here's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Engines. I said, if you fix one, you can have the other 2. So I just need one. He said, no, don't worry, I want you to have them. Well, when I got it back, the rails were all rusty. So I followed all the things and all the inside and everything. And then I put the train on with the trains behind it. And I put the switch on. And guess what? The trains went around. They went around. It went around this way, and halfway that way, and all that. And you know what I did, of course? I started crying. Oh, God, I started crying.
Poured himself.
Yeah. So that was our, I think the board is still there. I had a cover with canvas and everything. I think it was in the basement. So that became, to me, you know, an essential part. If you didn't do, now I did it in the middle room on a table.
Yeah.
I didn't do it by the tree because it was so huge. Now, there's a nice follow-up. The side story is that, you know about your mother at camp when they shafted her. Well, you know, and you know what happened.
Went up there and said,
I called up the minister. I was very upset and all that kind of stuff. So I forgot. So I don't forget who it was. The fellow who was. He had a program up into, not Canada, but way on up in North Quebec.
yeah.
For people to teach swimming. So this is a side story. But your mother drove up to where he was and whatever up north, and then she went and she flew in on a plane.
Yeah.
And on a boat to get to this village. She told you about this, I guess.
Yeah, fishing. A fishing village.
A fishing village, isolated from everything. And what she did is she taught them how to swim because they were drowning when they fell out. They didn't know what to do. And she had one channel at the nursing home. She went to the nursing home and watched that.
Soap operas.
And naturally, all the kids, they loved her. Not surprisingly. So as a follow-up to this story is that when she came back after Christmas and all that, this one girl, I forgot her name. Ask your mother what her name was. She came down from up there. She had to fly. She had to take a boat. She had to take a train and all that to come to our house.
How old was she?
She was almost your mother's age.
Okay.
Not that much younger. But your mother was like a teenager yet, I think. She wasn't even 20 yet. So she came down, and I was working on the train set. And when she saw that, her eyes lit up, and she started playing with it. You know? And I couldn't get her to do anything. I said, for God's sake, you came all the way down here, and now you're at that. She said, I never, ever had anything like this in my whole life, she said. So that she did most of the work. She polished all the rails, and she put different things on, and I had things I had a glue on and everything, you know. The two of us worked like crazy, you know. So the follow-up story from the Colonel and my kids playing with him and the thing and the train set, you know, and then coming down and setting it up, and then having what was her name? Ask her name.
Mom, what was the name of the girl who came down from Quebec with you for Christmas?
Kim Bobbitt.
Kim Bobbitt.
Kim Bobbitt, yeah. Now she was in love at the time, and she was calling up for her whatever and all that. But that's what she did. I said, "Don't you want to go here or do there?" She said, "No," she said, "I want to do this." She said, "And play with the trains." Anyway, that's the end of my story.